He has traveled with Bob Dylan and his band of gypsies. He has won Grammys. He has met every celebrity. He has done everything that I've ever asked him about. This is a man whose bucket list is empty. And the favorite thing that he loves to do is to come back here to Elko every year and to be with all of you. So please welcome my dear friend, Ramblin Jack Elliott.
Saddled and ready to ride. Thank you. Thank you, Willie. I didn't know about the cowboy poetry the first year.
Step up to the mic.
Gonna plug in, right? Hello, Mike. Well, I was on a tour somewhere, and it was in Wyoming. Oh, there's that red light again. Are you with the? I'm sorry. There's photography here being. They're taking pictures for the cowboy poetry. But if you're from home with your own camera, I'm sorry. I used to drive a truck, and when I see a red light, I stop. And I'm singing songs that I learned 50 years ago, or some of them I ain't never learned yet, been trying to learn in 50 years. My favorite cowboy song in the world is the Strawberry Roan. And it was, thank you. There was another one of them cameras going off. It's cool. Go ahead, keep on doing it for a bit, because I'm just not warmed up yet either anyhow. It'll get better. Can't get worse, it's gotta get better. Hello. Where was I? I'm losing like 5 brain cells a day out the back window. Remember. Wow, that's water. Here at Elko, you don't always taste water. They got some, have you been to the Star? Anyway. There was a song. There is a man you'll hear about. Most every place you go. Holdings are in Texas, and his name is Diamond Joe. He carries all his money in a diamond-studded jaw, and he never was much bothered by the process of the law. Hired at the Diamond Joe, boys. I did offer him my hand, and he gave me a string of horses so old they could not stand. Like to starve to death, boys, he did mistreat me so, and I never saved $1. that song, and I thought it was an old cowboy song for many years. I learned it from a bronc rider in a rodeo in Brussels, Belgium in 1958. I was bumming around Europe with my first wife on the back of a Vespa motor scooter. We had a tent and a guitar and a wife all on there on one motor scooter. I had a mustache then too. This is my brand new mustache. I know some of you don't recognize me because you never seen me with a mustache before, and you might have been seeing me for 25 years. Last time I had a mustache was way back, but it was kind of like almost against the law to have a mustache back then. It sort of branded you. I mean, people did it, but they were kind of people looked askance at them in many places. It was hard to get a job. I got me a job driving a truck. I had shaved it off. It was only a fresh one that didn't last long. Got a job immediately driving for the white lighting fixture company in Los Angeles. And it was a medium-sized truck, steak body. And after about a week of driving, and I was pretty secure they liked my driving, I started growing my mustache back. That story could go on and on. There's a whole beautiful other chapter to it, but we're getting in. I know there's people here that are music lovers, and we want to be able to give you some music too. So shut up and sing, Jack. That's a good idea. I'm looking forward to hearing Tom, and he and I have been on trips together, and cowboy train trips, and adventures up. We might get telling some of them adventures, and I'd have you on the edge of your seat, all right, but you wouldn't hear any songs. So why don't you shut up and sing, Jack? Okay, I'm trying to. This guitar was in tune when I bought it. I know what it is. It's the in and out, the cold, hot, the warm. Excuse me for coughing. No, think nothing of it. I caught a cold last year when I was here. Sometimes going in and out of these hot buildings, it's better to stay outdoors. Strings are getting weird on me. Might be the gold. Well, I'll find you that one. Here's what that song came from. Did I sing you Diamond Joe? Learned that from a cowboy in a rodeo in Brussels. My buddy Darrell Adams had split up there and got married, and went up to visit him in Brussels, and we heard there was a rodeo going on there, so had to go see that. And so we went over to the rodeo grounds, and it was situated in a little valley where the railroad ran through under a bridge called the Teichmann Bridge, and there was a big fair going on to the Brussels International Exposition. That was in another part of town in a nicer piece of real estate. But this is where the rodeo was being put on, and it was raining and it was getting muddy, and they had a big tent made by Goodyear rubber, and there was no tent poles. It was held aloft by wind pressure from fans blowing. and they developed a little tear in one of the seams of the upper part of the tent, and the air leaked out, and the tent came down. They folded it up and they put it away, and they were trying to ride these bucking horses in the rain and the snow and the mud. It wasn't snowing. That just word came in parentifically. I'm hoping these strings are going to get used to the temperature and so forth. I found out later that song that time, Joe's song, was not an old cowboy song. I got a call from a guy. He claimed to be, he must be 60 years old now. I don't know. He said he was the son of the man who wrote the song. A guy by the name of, he was a fiddle player, Butch Hawes. And he was married to Alan Lomax's sister Bess. So she was Bess Hawes, the banjo player, and he was Butch Hawes, the fiddle player. And his kid said he was their 1-year-old son. He remembered seeing me and Woody in the back seat of his mother's car in Topanga Canyon in 1954, and he was 1 year old. I said, okay, I see. I believed him. Why would anyone make up something like that? He said his daddy was the author of that song. It came from a song, another song about a state that I really do like, Arkansas. And this song is kind of not a very favorable critique of Arkansas, but it's kind of a funny song. And it's the one that, and apologies to my friend Glenn, and it's called The State of Arkansas, and that's what that tune came from. And I like it just as much as I do the first one. My name is Charlie Brennan, from Charlestown I come. Travel this wide world over, some ups and downs I've had, saw. Travel this wide world over, some ups and downs I've saw, but I never knew what misery was till I hit old Arkansas. I followed my conductor to his respective place. Their misery and starvation was writ on every face. His bread it was corn dodgers, meat I couldn't chaw. But he charged me $50 in the state of Arkansas. I followed my conductor to his respect. A little more lively, happier kind of song. Thank you. Another great song that Butch wrote. It wasn't anything to do with cowboys in particular, but it has a lot to do with old cowboys or ex-cowboys, come to think of it, which I hadn't thought of back then, but now that we're here, I did. You know what I mean? So, I wish I could sing you the Strawberry Roan. That's my very favorite cowboy song. That had a lot to do with me buying a guitar in the first place. But the first song I learned to sing was out of a cowboy songbook. It was called Red River Valley, and I've always loved that one. And have even sung it a couple of times here, but it's not coming up right now. That Strawberry Roan, I've heard many a great singer and many a poor singer sing that, and it always thrilled me. I heard a record of it on the radio done by Montana Slim, who was a Canadian fella from Eastern Canada, Wilf Carter. I saw him in his hometown one time in 1947. He was doing a show. It was his mother's 75th birthday, so he must not have been more than about 50 years old then. Wilf Carter. Never did see him again. He just passed away recently. He was probably about 100 years old. And Woody Guthrie would have been 100 years old last year. I'm 12. He was born in 1912. Here's another song that was written by that guy, Butch Hawes. But this is not a cowboy song, but it's a hell of a song. In fact, I'm beginning to think that I may have got arthritis in my shoulder from playing this song. Called the Arthritis Blues. Went to the doctor looked sad. Well, he looked in his book and he told me what I had, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. Arthritis is a thing to miss. It'll leave you walking with a double twist, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. You can't stand up and you can't lay down. You can't sit in a chair, you can't roll on the ground, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. Gin, rum, and whiskey will ease the pain. You wake up in the morning and it's right back again, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. Doctor, 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 get your x-ray machine. Well, it feels so good, just about like morphine, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. When you get to heaven, tell the judge for me, I've had 16 years of the third degree, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. You can chase it away with your sweet apple jack. You wake up in the morning and it's squatting on your back, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. Arthritis is a thing to miss. It'll leave you walking with a double twist, and it's all kinds of trouble. Gonna find you somehow. Thank you. That was a perfect time to snap a picture, and I won't even be rude. That was good, because I had the parking brake on anyway. I really am enjoying posing for all your pictures and all that stuff, and it's wonderful to see you, and I can't even see you, but I know you're here, and I can feel the good vibe and the love glow. I've been coming to this thing 25 years, and it's about the only thing I enjoy in the whole country. I do enjoy breathing clean air sometimes, and I have done so and even seen some. So it's like refreshing to come here. And thanks for coming. And I appreciate it if you don't try and turn this into a film studio while I'm singing, because I can't remember the words to songs that I did know for 50 years up until I met you. I'm just trying to help out all these other people that ain't taking my picture, and they're listening. They came here to listen. People did. hate cameras any more than I hate guns. I love it all. I just thought of one that I like to do, and I'm not going to do it because I think you're going to hear that later, and I'm anxious to hear it too. And so that's one more song I don't have to do. And it's one of my favorites, so I'm gonna love hearing Tom singing, and I think you are too. Here's one of my favorite songs that Woody Guthrie ever wrote. I was a big fan of Woody's back a ways, and had the pleasure of meeting him once. I was 19 and he was 39. So he was 10 years older than me, and he'd had an awful lot of experience, and I had nothing practically, except I'd ran away from home one time and traveled with a rodeo for a few months and done a few other oddball things. Other than that, I felt pretty inexperienced. Bless you. This one's about when he was in the Merchant Marine, sailing in the war, in World War II, Liberty ship, feeding gun crews. It's called Talking Sailor. It's just a talking blues. Don't even have no melody. Bed of the woman just singing the blues. I heard the radio telling the news. Said the big red army took 100 towns of allies, dropping them 2-ton bombs. Started hollering, yelling, dancing up and down like a bullfrog. Doorbell rung, in come a man, signed my name all over that water. His convoy's the biggest I ever did see, stretches all the way out across the sea, and the ships blew the whistles and rang their bells, gonna blow them fascists all to hell. Win some freedom, liberty, stuff like it. Well, I'm just one of a merchant crew, belong to a union called the NMU. I'm a union man from head to toe. I'm USA and CIO, fighting out here on the waters to win some freedom on the land. Well, I want to hear Tom. Well, it's sure good to see you all. Thank you. You're going to really get a kick. And I know I am too. I've enjoyed it.
The great Ramblin Jack Elliott. One more time. Woo! Jack. Boy, there's nobody like him. So, and now on to Tom Russell. So Tom Russell showed up here one year, maybe 15 or 20 years ago, and we'd all heard about him. He'd written songs with Ian, and they were songs that we all knew and loved. He arrived, and he was all dressed in black, and he kind of huddled on the sideline, and it took a little while for us to get to know him. But when we did, we've never been disappointed. Tom is a real artist. You know, for those of us who work in the West and create in the West, we're always looking for new material, new ideas, turning over rocks. And Tom does it better than almost anybody. He really is one of the most creative guys I've ever known. He writes a column in Ranch and Riata. He has published 3 books. He paints beautifully. His painting career is really taking off. He has recorded 26 albums, which is pretty phenomenal. He's been doing this. He's been playing music he's now in his 5th decade. And the work just keeps getting better and better. He is a legend himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tom Russell with his friend, with his friend Thad Beckman. Tom and Thad.
Thank you, Willie. Let's hear it one more time for the great Ramblin Jack Elliott. Well, it's been a few years since I've been here, maybe 3 or 4 years, can't remember. Always wanted to come back with something new. We've had a couple new records out since last time. Blood and Candle Smoke and Mesabi. I'm going to open up with this song I've been using to open sets with to center me. In the heart of the West for me, Mexico City, and the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe. And I spent a really magical afternoon in the shrine of Guadalupe about 6 years ago, just watching some of the Indian women go by and all the reverence there. So this is a song about the spirit, even more than it's about religion. And Gretchen Peters did a great job on this one. Got to get her here one year. Guadalupe. There are ghosts out in the rain tonight, high up in those ancient trees. And Lord, I've given up without a fight. Another blind fool on his knees. And all the gods that I've abandoned begin to speak in simple tongue. Lord, suddenly I've come to know there are no roads left to run. And she is reaching out her arms tonight. And yes, my poverty is real. I pray roses will rain down on me from Guadalupe on her hill. But who am I to doubt the mystery, cured in centuries of blood and candle smoke? I am the least of all your children here, but I am most in need of hope. She appeared to Juan Diego, and she left her image on his cape. 500 years of sorrow have not destroyed their deepest faith. But here I am, your ragged disability, believer. Old doubting Thomas drowns in tears as I've watched your church sink through the earth like a heart worn down through fear. And she is reaching out her arms tonight. And Lord, my poverty is real, and I pray roses shall rain down on me from Guadalupe on that hill. But who am I to doubt these mysteries, cured in centuries of blood and candle smoke? I am the least of all your pilgrims here, but I am most in need of hope. I am the least of all your children here, but I am most in Dylan. We ought to get Bob here one of these years. Bob and Ramblin Jack. Man, place would be packed. And maybe Leonard Cohen. They're all cowboys when you scratch the surface. Man, I could even dream of the Rolling Stones doing some of their country songs. This shit can happen if you got a dream. I went up to the Mesabi Iron Range in Hibbing, Minnesota one time when we were on tour, and I was amazed that this kid, Bobby Dillon, came out of here, this frozen northern town, this dreamer. So I wrote this little tune about him. I'm gonna get in the mood here with this song I first heard Ramblin Jack do, if you'll allow me. Well, it ain't no use to sit and wonder why, if you don't know by now. It ain't no use to sit and wonder why, babe. It don't matter anyhow. When your rooster crows at the break of dawn, look out your window, babe, and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on. Don't think twice, it's all right. Have you ever seen Duluth when the Great Lake waves were pounding? There must be some way out of there, kid. You might end up lost and drowning. But the polkas at the Polish dance hall, the carnivals of spring, the rock and roll on an upright piano, didn't that kid make the high school rafters ring? Just a kid who heard Howlin' Wolf every night on his radio, from the airwaves blasting all the way up Nogales, Mexico. And the Ducktail Boys in St. Cloud polished up their chords of fame. And the Armory Show where Buddy Holly sang the learning of the game. Some things never change on the Mesabi Iron Range, where the North Country rain sing. Please don't let me do the work my father did. It's Bethlehem of the troubadour kid. Have you heard the desert wind blow across the city of the angels? I was a kid playing football little Catholic school deep down in Mexican town. Richie Valens sang the Bamba. It's 80 miles to Tijuana. I stole my parents' car one night. Never found the dark-eyed senoritas in the Cowboy song. I was just a kid listening to my Uncle George's record player. That's true. While the grapevine wheels spun around all those sacred prayers, and the steel guitars in those Telecaster bars in San Joaquin town, and the don't think twice, it's alright from the wild Mesabi holy ground. Some things never change. You're still a learning of the game. You might end up on 5th and Main, kid. Please don't let me go out like my father did. I wanna sing like the troubadour kid. Some things never change. Some things never change. Some things never change. Thad Beckman. We now go to the most dangerous city in the world, just across the border from our house in El Paso, Juarez, Mexico. And such a tragedy with the drug war the last 4 or 5 years, and used to go over there a lot. I was talking to Glenn Orland backstage about it, and back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, even Sinatra played in Juarez, and I wrote a song about it. I'm going to do that song right now. And Nat King Cole, the Kingston Trio, man, they're matching shirts. It was a whole other era because of the divorce laws, mainly. And Marilyn Monroe went over there to divorce one of her several husbands. I think it was Arthur Miller. And after she divorced him, she went to the Kentucky bar, my favorite bar in the world, and bought a round of margaritas for the house. That's the way it was in the 50s. Thank you. And I wrote a little song for Elizabeth Taylor, because I was wondering, how do I get from Hollywood and some of these Hollywood songs I wrote on this record to Juarez? And that magic 2-word mantra entered my mind, Thad. Have you heard this before? Everything's new. Elizabeth Taylor. And the reason is, this is for Glenn Orland. Elizabeth Taylor lived for 2 months at the top of the old Plaza Hotel in El Paso because she was married to Nicky Hilton, who built it. And I imagined her looking out on Juarez with a margarita and a cigarette. And right in back of her in the town square, there were live alligators. This is El Paso. I'm sure many of you have passed through on your way to somewhere else. This is on the new record, so I'm going to do this Furious Love for Liz and go right into this song that's pretty meaningful for me called Goodnight Juarez. This is Furious Love first. There's a penthouse on top, the old Plaza Hotel in El Paso, looking down on Juarez. Liz Taylor lived there with her husband Nicky Hilton. At least that's what the newspaper said. But now the plaza's closed down, Juarez is on fire. The news came tonight that Liz died. One old alligator in the Plaza Square fountain looked up at that penthouse and cried. She chased furious love through her furious seasons, always dancing between the rhyme and the reason. Tonight in El Paso, I'll raise a double gin fizz. 10,000 now. The mariachi horns are silent. The guitars don't make a sound. The children have all disappeared, or they're hiding underground. The tourist market's empty now. Christ, you wouldn't recognize this town. Why they even tore the bull ring down. Good night, Juarez, good night. Palomita, you ragged and torn dove of peace. Go fly across this burning desert where the bodies lie beneath, and bring me back one faded rose, a sign of life and hope. Drop it down on this broken city, for it all goes up in smoke. Juarez, I had a dream today. Children danced as the guitars played, and all the violence up and washed away. Good night, Juarez, good night. The children danced as guitars played. Good night, Juarez, good night. We're going to stay down on the border for an older song here and get you to sing along on this. It's real easy. Even if you had a few drinks, all you got to do is go da 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 da. You got it? All right. Stealing electricity. There's a Mexican dead upon a power line. He's deader than yesterday's communion wine. He was trying to get something he could not afford for free. He's just a poor man stealing electricity. His heart went that's your part. 10,000 volts and now he's gone, riding on a rail above Babylon. Hey baby, ain't that just like you and me? Cause love is like stealing electricity. Everybody, two hearts go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. More beer. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It was louder in LA. It's 30 people there. When the poverty of your spirit and the weakness of your flesh goes dancing every night through other people's trash, you don't love yourself, baby. What the hell you doing with me? You're gonna burn, baby, burn, stealing electricity. Let's hear it. Two hearts go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We all climbed so high in search of a kindred soul. Then we grab hold of a live wire up on a highline pole. The laws of nature say you get nothing for free, cause love is like steam and electricity. Let's hear it. Two hearts go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yes. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Folk singing. There's a Mexican dead on a power line. He's deader than yesterday's communion wine. He was trying to get something he couldn't afford for free. He's just a poor man stealing a lecture, so let's hear it. His heart went da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Louder. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Don't give up. I can do this all night. Thad Beckman. The great Thad Beckman. And he has records for sale too. He checked them right into the business center. We'll be out there after the show to meet each and every one of you and hear all your fascinating anecdotes. All right. Just kidding, I love you. No, I look forward to it. Here's a song, Ian helped me with this a little, and the good news, some of you might have heard that Ian had a throat operation and got rid of a lot of his problems there, and he'll be back on the road soon. So look for Ian Tyson. I was up at his cabin one day, and we wrote two songs. I wrote this song, and he wrote a song for my brother called Cowboy Pride, my brother Pat Russell, when he ran off with a waitress in Cuyama. But that's a whole other story. But this one, I always think back to the days I worked in native bars in British Columbia. This probably comes from there. I'm going to sing it as a duet with Thad, because Thad does a great version of this, as does Dave Alvin. This is called Blue Wing. He had a blue wing tattooed on his shoulder. Well, it might have been a bluebird, I don't know. But he gets stone drunk, talk about Alaska. Lord, the salmon boats and 45 below.
He said he got that blue wing up in Walla Walla, where his cellmate there was little Willie John. Now Willie, he was once a great blues singer. Wing and Willie wrote him up a song.
He said it's dark in here, can't see the sky, but I look at this blue wing and I close my eyes. Lord, I fly away beyond these walls, up above the clouds, where the rain don't fall on a poor man's dream. Well, they paroled Blue Wing in August 1963. He moved north Pick. Well, he drank his way to L.A., and that's where he died. But no one knew his Christian name. There was no one there to cry.
But I dreamt there was a service, a preacher and an old pine box. You know, halfway through the sermon, old Blue Wing began to talk.
He said it's dark in here, can't see the sky, but I look at this blue wing and I close my eyes. Lord, I fly away beyond these walls, up above the clouds, where the rain don't fall on a poor man's dream. Yeah, on a poor man's dream. Yeah, on a poor man's dream. Thad Beckman. That reminds me of a record we had out, a crazy little cowboy record called Hot Walker. Not going to do anything from that tonight because this is a family show. But it was recollections of my childhood growing up in LA and going to the folk clubs like the Ash Grove, getting to see the great Ramblin Jack Elliott. Jack used to do this thing that was so magical. He would jump off the stage. It was a very small kind of club where you could jump off the stage, but watch this. And he would come out in the audience and play guitar right in your face. And I could feel the wind coming off his flat pick. And I said, "That's Ramblin Jack." "Not yet, Jack. He's out in his limousine right now, putting on a new costume for the second set." But I got to see the great ones like Ian and Sylvia. But the old black bluesmen that we thought were going to live forever, like Lightnin Hopkins, man. One time I carried Lightnin Hopkins' guitar case. "Come here, white boy." Carried this here case in the club. Underneath my seat out there, Lincoln Continental, there's a jack leg of bourbon. You bring that here and both of us will get our head wrecked before the show. "I'm sorry, Mr. Hopkins, I'm underage." "Get out of here." Tell me, Thad, what would Lightnin Hopkins sound like if he was here tonight in Elko? All right. You have records for sale? Don't say I didn't warn them. Let's do one more quick one. He's got a million of them. Sometimes I say Jimi Hendrix just to mess with his head. No, not tonight. Maybe tomorrow night at our show in the Folklife Center, where my paintings are hanging, waiting to be bought, so we can get your bus back to El Paso. Let me think of one that you haven't done in a while. This gentleman just passed away, blind man, great guitar player, one of the cleanest, fastest guitar players that ever lived, Doc Watson. Doc Watson. You trying to take over the show? Put out a record of cowboy instrumentals. You'll be back in no time. But I got to see Jack Elliott. I got a record of Jack. Jack only wrote 2 songs, but they're good ones. 912 Greens and Cup of Coffee. And Jack did this great rap. He was the first rap singer back in 1948. When he was riding bulls at Madison Square Garden. But in all seriousness, the reason he was the best man at my wedding here in Elko with Ian Tyson 5 years ago, Ramblin Jack. I'm so honored. Our anniversary was last night. We tried to find a decent place to eat. Anyway, Jack did a duet with Johnny Cash called Cup of Coffee about Jack likes 3 things basically: trucks, boats, and cowboys. Ladies and gentlemen, Ramblin Jack Elliott. Man, Leonard Cohen's got nothing on you, Jack. How about this mic over here, Jack? Just stop by to have a cup of coffee, Jack. Just stop by to have a cup of coffee. Don't give me no whiskey. Ain't got time for wine. I got to get this semi down the line. That's right. Hey, Nadine, look, coming up the driveway in El Paso, it's Ramblin Jack Elliott. He's driving this big super rig. I don't know what he's hauling, but if he comes in for a drink, we'll ask him. Hey, Jack, how you doing out there? Come on into the house for a cup of coffee.
That was your window. I thought I recognized that place. Yeah, it's a Hendrix, and I just got this practically brand new truck here just a little while ago, and it's been a long time. You got any? You're still up, huh?
Yeah, we've been up for about 3 weeks.
I recognize the light.
Something they sell over the border there, and I don't want nothing to do with.
What's that?
Turn Jack's mic up, if you please. This is brilliant offbeat beat poetry. Jack, come into the house for a drink of coffee before you head over there to Van Horn
You think?
San Antonio. Yeah. Nadine, bring Jack some coffee. It's pretty hot. How do you like that coffee, Jack?
I was kind of tired. I had a cup in Kansas City about 11 hours ago.
That's a fast truck. Hey, Jack, you want me to put something in that coffee to cool it off?
Sure,
Bring me some of that Jim Beam, Nadine. Put just a little bit of the Jim Beam in the
not
coffee.
too much. That's enough.
Oh, a little more. One
hold
more
it right
sip.
there. Wait, what? Maybe you should put. It's a little hot. Could you put a little bit more in that?
Nadine, get another pint of Jim Beam. You just go, boy. That's the way they used to drive them rigs.
New Hendrix and I got out there.
Let's go out and take a look at your truck,
Yeah,
Jack.
it's a beauty. It's only got about 500,000 miles on it. It's not even broke in. Yep.
Don't trip over the petunias there. Come on.
Oh, platoon yours.
You can't make this stuff up. Jack, I don't think you're in any condition to drive. I think, come on in the house.
I drove this way all the way to Kansas City from another place we can't even disclose, partly because I can't remember what they called.
I hope this is being recorded, Nadine.
I'll be good.
Maybe you ought to sleep on the couch, Jack. What do you think?
Oh, that's a good idea, but just don't put that foot up on the couch. Don't leave it on the floor because that's my clutch foot. And
London subway platform one afternoon busking for dimes and stuff, and Mick Jagger comes by going to art school and sees Ramblin Jack. He's told this story and says, "I'm not going to art school anymore. I think I busted a button on my trousers. Hope they don't fold down. I'm going to be a rock and roll singer because of Ramblin Jack Elliott." One more time. Here's something on the new record that's sort of cowboy-esque. It's called Highlight, and we get to hear some great flamenco-style playing here. And when I grew up in L.A., we used to go down to the border on weekends to Tijuana because they had a dog track, horse track. They served you if you're 14. Anything you wanted was there, and great nightclubs. But they had a highlight court, which is called a fronton. Beautiful, I think it's still there, although they don't use it anymore. But beautiful, huge adobe building. They still play highlight a little in Florida. But it's a basket game, pelota, a ball game. The last gig we did was in Bilbao, Spain, about a month ago, and we did this song. But we used to go down to the border, 4 kids in the Cadillac, my old man, before he gambled it all away, and I saw that fronton there that said highlight. I said, "Daddy, what's that?" "Son, that's an Aztec gaming palace." "What? What goes on in there?" "Human sacrifice. And if you're not good, ooh, terrified." And we went through Fresno the other day. We were playing Baisayo for Gary Brown over there. And in the downtown Fresno, if you're over there, the great Gary Brown, is a place called the Basque Hotel, at the vibe kind of like the Star. And it was built back in the 30s or 40s, and next to the hotel is a highlight fronton that's falling down. So you would rent a room when you came over from Spain and look out on the highlight court as you were taking a few shots. This is highlight. was a Basque from San Sebastian. He came here in 51, made his bones along the border in the high life fronton. With a basket on his hand, he threw his heart against the wall. He was the master of pelota in the fastest game of all. He had blood inside his eye, he threw his heart, he let it fly. He was the master of the dance, the king of high life. What does this mean to you and I? Swing your heart and let it fly. Love is a deadly game they call high life. He met a woman deeper than the songs in those Conte Hondo bars. They made love outside the racetrack in his long black touring car. But love took all his passion, how his heart still twists and turns. Throw your heart against the wall, it may not return. He had blood inside his eye, he threw his heart, he let it fly. He was the master of the dance, the king of high life. What does this mean to you and I? Swing your heart and let it fly. Love is a deadly game they call high life. Olé! I got a postcard from Bilbao. It said the games are mostly gone. Just a memory to those old men who live in tapas bars and gypsy song. But oh, the crack of thunder when the pelota hit the wall. Love and high lie were the fastest games of all. And now the games are mostly died, but old men too proud to cry live on memories of love and high life. He had blood inside his eye, he threw his heart, he let it fly. He was the master of pelota, the king of high life. What does this mean to you and I? Swing your heart and let it fly. Love is a deadly dance they call high life. Olé! On the guitar. Time for some cowboy songs here. All right. Here's the first song I wrote with the great maestro Ian Tyson, and he's been quite an influence on me. I've learned lots of good things and lots of dangerous things from him, but a master songwriter. Anybody whose first song was Four Strong Winds is mighty strong writer. And we started this in New York way back in 1986 or so, and he finished it in I said today at the workshop, Super 8 motel in Fort Worth. I don't think he stays in those anymore. But it became a hit for him. You can sing along with this one. It's called Navajo Rug. Well, it's 3 eggs up on whiskey toast, home fries on the side. You wash it down with that Roadhouse coffee, it burns up your insides. It's just a Canyon Colorado dime. waitress I did love, where we sat in the back neath an old stuffed bear and a worn-out Navajo rug. Well, old Jack, the boss, he closed at 6. Katie barred the door, and she pulled down that Navajo rug and spread it on the floor. Hey, I saw lightning in the sacred mountains, saw the dance of the turtle doves when I was lying next to Katie on that old Navajo rug. I, sing it out. Katie, shades of red and blue. I, Katie, whatever became of the Navajo rug? So every time I cross the sacred mountains, lightning breaks above. It always takes me back in time to my long lost Katie love. But everything keeps a moving. Whoa, everybody's on the go. Yeah, you don't find things that last anymore, like a double woven Navajo. Katie, shades of red and blue. I, Katie, whatever became of the Navajo rug? Katie, shades of red and blue. You're slowing down, Katie. Whatever became of the Navajo rug? Katie, shades of red and blue. Katie, whatever became of the Navajo rug? Time for a couple more. Here's one I wrote in Santa Ynez, and Willie kindly mentioned that I've been writing these monthly essays for a good cowboy magazine called Ranchin' Riata, and I got a few with me. I'll bring them out to we'll be signing back there right after the show, and like to see all of you and meet you and get on our mailing list and stuff and look at Thad's CDs. But Ranchin' Riata is centered in Santa Ynez, good ranch country up there, and I wrote this song very near there. I was riding I don't get on horses much anymore, but I rode this guy's expensive cutting horse right over the side of a cliff. And I had a pitcher of margaritas in one hand and a pen in the other hand. It was either the horse or the pen or the margarita. I caught myself on a tree, and the horse fell down there. It survived, but it's now ruggedly handsome. And I looked back up to the guy who owned the horse, and I had this inspiration for a song. I said, "Tonight we ride!" Pancho V across the border in the year of odd 16. They're coming alive now. I see y'all at the bar. They're chilling up my $40 Chardonnay as we speak. The people of old Elko and Winnemucca still hear Pancho riding through their dreams. Get ready for the big screen. Not yet, honey. We hired you to do it right. Nadine, get out there. He killed 17 civilians. You could hear the people scream. Blackjack Persian on a dance, and the horse was waiting in the wings. Tonight we ride. Tonight we ride. We'll skin old Pancho V and make shafts out of his hide. Shoot his horse, siete leguas, and his 27 brides. Tonight we ride, boys. Tonight we ride. We rode for 7 years. Blackjack Persian. What? We rode for 10 long years till Blackjack Pershing called it quits. When Jackie wasn't looking, I stole his fine spade bit. It was tied upon a stallion Thad, I rode away on it to the wild Chihuahuan desert, so dry you couldn't spit. Tonight we ride, you bastards dare. We'll hunt the wild Chihuahua for the bounty on their hair, and then we ride into old Elko, climb up the whorehouse stairs. Tonight we ride, boys. Tonight we ride. When I'm too damn old to sit a horse, I'll steal the warden's car, break my ass out of this prison, leave my teeth there in a jar. You don't need no teeth for kissing girls or smoking cheap cigars. I'll sleep with one eye open, neath God's celestial stars. Tonight we rock, hey, tonight we roll. We'll hunt the wild Apache for the bounty on their soul. And then we ride into old Elko, climb up the whorehouse door. Tonight we ride, boys, tonight we ride. Tonight we fly, we're heading west to the deserts near El Paso, where the eagle makes his nest. But if our bones rot here in Elko, we'll consider we are blessed. Tonight we ride, girls, tonight we ride. Tonight we ride, boys, tonight we ride. Thad Beckman. I think we got time for Una Mas Canción, one more song. Let's hear it again for the great Ramblin Jack Elliott. Thad Beckman on the guitar. Let's get Josh out here, Josh Baca. Ramblin Jack, take another bow. Welcome to the stage, Josh Baca from the Tex Maniac. You know what's coming now. Carlos Zaragoza left his home in Casas Grande when the moon was full. Ole. Ole. Oh, mi corazón. No money in his pocket, just a locket of his sister framed in gold. Ole. He rolled into El Sueco. He stole a rooster called El Gallo del Cielo. Then he crossed the Rio Grande with that fighter nestled deep beneath his arm. El Gallo del Cielo was a fighter born in heaven, so the legends say. His wings, they had been broken. He had one eye rolling crazy in his head. But he fought 100 fights, and the legends say that one night near El Sueco, they fought Cielo 7 times. 7 times he left brave roosters dead. Holy my Teresa, I am thinking of you now in San Antonio. I have $27 and the good luck of your picture framed in gold. Tonight I'll put it all on the fighting spurs of Gallo del Cielo. And then I'll return to buy the land Villa stole from father long ago. Outside of San Diego, in the onion fields of Paco Monteverde, the pride of San Diego, he lay sleeping on his fancy bed of silk. And they laughed when Zaragoza pulled the one-eyed Del Cielo from beneath his coat. But they cried when Zaragoza walked away with $1,000 bill. Oh, the night Teresa riding on the spurs of Del Cielo. I pray that I'll return to buy the land Villa stole from father long ago. Then the signal it was given, and the roosters rose together far above the sand. El Gallo del Cielo sunk a gaff into Zorro's shiny breast. They were separated quickly, but they rose and fought each other 37 times. And the legends say that everyone agreed Del Cielo fought the best. Then the screams of Zaragoza filled the night outside the town of Santa Clara. As the beak of Del Cielo lay broken like a shell within his hand. And they say that Zaragoza screamed a curse upon the bones of Pancho Villa. Chica! When Zorro rose up one last time and drove Del Cielo through the sand. Oh, to my Teresa, I am thinking of you now in San Francisco. There is no money in my pocket. I no longer have your good luck framed in gold. I buried it last evening with the bones of my beloved Del Cielo. And I'll not return to buy the land Villa stole from father long ago. Do the rivers still run muddy outside of my beloved Casas Grande? Does the scar upon my brother's face turn red when he hears mention of my name? Do the people of El Sueco still curse the death of Gallo del Cielo? We'll tell my family not to worry. I will not return to cause him shame. From the Tex-Maniacs, Thad Beckman, Ramblin Jack, Elliott. Good night. We'll see you outside in the lobby. God bless you all. Thank you.
Tom Russell, ladies and gentlemen. Tom!